Hi guys, I'm Nathan Good Mayhem Racing. This is the 4Runner that we raced the Baja 1000 in, and I have been working on it diligently for two events that are happening back to back on the weekend. One of them is Cali Raised Off-Road Car Party in Fort Worth. It's going to be happening next weekend, April 27th. I'm looking forward to going there and having fun with that. And in conjunction with that, a mild race out in El Paso with the Cinco de Baja 200. Last year it was the 300, this year is the 200, and I think the sportsman's class will have the same 200 miles as the pro race guys. But be that as it may, I needed help. I can't do all this work on my own. At the same time, everybody is either busy taking care of their stuff for Toyota Jamboree, the party I'm talking about, as well as their own racing efforts like Team Trainwreck and Nora and other guys. By the way, for Darren Arden, Steve, Sam, Gavin, and all the guys that helped me in my Baja 1000 effort, a lot of them are actually going to Nora in Mexico to do that 1000 race. It's pretty much the same course I did, but in reverse. I wish them the best of luck because it's going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm very excited for them, and I wish I was going. On this truck, I've been working on the front. You're seeing the back right now because the back is what I want to make this video about. We bent the rear axle of the 4Runner during our race. The right axle is fine. The left axle is bent. So this axle housing is what is the problem. Even racing is kind of not, no, I'm saying all that wrong, sorry. Wheeling in general, taking a truck out on the weekend and bending an axle is common. I know plenty of friends that have bent their own Toyota axles. This would be no exception to it, but with racing, the damage just gets worse. So how can we fix it with the vehicle that we have? Oh, hi Saber, do you want to jump? Here. Saber, do you want to jump? Come here. Come here, buddy boy. You want to jump? Saber do. You want to jump? Come here. You want to jump? If he does this, I'll be really surprised. Come here. Come on. You want to jump? Come on, you can do it. Yeah, yes you can. Yeah. Here you go, buddy boy. Good boy. Yeah. Saber, everyone. Oh, good boy. My framing on that was terrible. Back to the axle. The axle was bent over a 1/4 inch to the rear, which means when the tires are tracking straight with the hub and bearing, they're pointed outwards. So the more the axle is bent, the more the tires point outwards, at least in the direction of where the bend is. So if this thing is bent a 1/4 inch over the 4-inch mounting flange, you just multiply that out by the width of the tire, and that's how off the tread is at your 34-inch, 35-inch tire. If I am a 1/4 inch off here, multiply that out over that 35-inch territory, and now you can calculate that the actual offset of the tire, it pointing in the wrong direction, is almost 2 inches. I have links that you can align, so I will use that as a way to correct the alignment and split that offset between both tires. But now that's causing the suspension geometry to not be consistent, which is unfortunate. What's the real fix? Replace the rear axle housing. That's it. Can you salvage an axle in the meantime? Yes, but is it a Band-Aid solution? Realistically, you need to have a reinforced axle for racing. A lot of weekend warrior stuff also requires a axle that's reinforced. And realistically, I should have had that the entire time that I was doing stuff, wheeling this truck on my own and having adventures with friends, in addition to racing. Can you bend an axle back? Yes, but it's not perfect and it doesn't get you all the way. For the axle, you have to find out where most of the bend is. And if you look very closely, the bend starts around here, right around the area that the limit strap was on. By the way, limit straps should be double sheared, not the way I did it here. I just ran out of time for Mexico. But the bend started here, and then it got really bad down here. But this section is a lot straighter now than it was. I was actually able to straighten this section by a full 1/4 inch. No, sorry. 5/32 of an inch. It was off a 1/4 inch, right? So I got it most of the way back. And now the mounting flange is shimmed. This is definitely in Carson's 101, where one side of your flange is bolted down flat, and this is shimmed around 1/16 of an inch. That was necessary to get the hub and bearing from binding. Now, it's no longer binding, which is great. But I had to completely detune the brakes. I'm going to have to tune them again. And how I did that was with welding. These are 2 big weld beads with TIGs. And by first washing and preheating the material underneath, as in welding with no wire, autogenous welding, that got it hot enough to the point where when I welded a set of weld beads on there, when these things shrank, it took the bend and sucked it back forward. That's a very inelegant, very rough and tumble solution, but hey, it gets me to the point where I can, my brakes are the binding problem right now. That gets me to the point where I can have this axle work again, albeit imperfectly. There we go. By having the brakes completely detuned, I can move this thing around freely. By having that hub shimmed, that bearing assembly shimmed, and the axle bent back a little bit. I need a new axle. So if you know someone who has a truss or reinforced axle setup for sale that's willing to work with me on that, I'd appreciate it. I will try to redo everything on this truck if I were to put a new axle in, just because the axle would probably be better for racing, so I might as well have a better suspension for it too. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you out in the desert, if not my garage. Like and subscribe for more.